Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, happy Friday, guys. How we doing?
Doing okay. How is your mom and how are your dogs?
Man, I tell you what, a lot going on. My mom goes into surgery here in about 40 minutes.
Wow.
And she's got to have surgery to repair the fracture. The dogs are doing well. The anti-snake venom, I think, has worked, and it definitely cost me quite a bit of money. But yeah, we welcome to Texas.
What kind of snake was it? And are you going to get pet insurance now?
Well, we have 4 dogs, so I would say pet insurance would cost me more than the anti-venom cost me, so probably no. But they think it was a copperhead's what they think. And, again, they're retrievers, so, they're nosy and they're not the smartest dogs in the world, so therefore they probably thought it wanted to be friends, and next thing you know, we're rushing them off to the ER.
Yeah, I had this similar problem, Coach, at my new home out in the woods, and I got a Tolo to build a snake fence. I ordered lion pee, everything I could, because I'm terrified of snakes. So I got a snake fence guy if you need one.
Okay, well, did it work? Does it work?
Yes.
Do you see snakes? Do you have issues?
Nope, I've not had issues for a year. Tolo Joseph, I got this whole thing wrapped around the backyard, and maybe one rat snake, which is not poisonous. So if you need it, I got the hookup. If you tell me I have more good questions of Bobby today.
Okay, well, I guarantee you're going to have way more good questions than Bobby today, and I definitely want the number, but maybe not the lion's pee or whatever that was.
Hey, they're supposed to be scared of it. It's a dominant.
That'll keep out coyotes and everything.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Coach.
Perfect.
So, when you've got a kicker like Brandon Aubrey, who's clearly such a weapon for you guys, do you ever have to check yourself and ask, like, okay, am I playing this situation too conservatively because of this comfort I have in my kicker?
Well, yeah, actually, I was just watching some game management stuff with Ryan Feeder, and you guys probably saw it because you guys are such football experts. But the Indianapolis and Denver game came down to a situation just like that, where Indianapolis had the ball, they were down 2 points, and they had just crossed midfield, and the field goal line was like the 36 or something. Well, they ran the ball on first down, didn't make a yard. Ran the ball on second, I think they made a yard or two. They ran the ball on third down, lost 2. And they were a couple yards behind the field goal line. The kicker goes out, actually misses it, so the game should be over, but Denver gets called for leverage. So the answer is absolutely. There's a fine line. We don't want to live with Brandon Aubrey having to make 64 and 60-yard field goals. Can he do it? Of course he can, but I think we also certainly have the trust in Dak and the offensive unit to go get us as close as we need to be. But definitely a fine line, and you definitely can't be too conservative.
Coach, there is so much coverage and talk about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Your thoughts on Caleb coming out, what you see from him, and what is a Ben Johnson offense, as he was one of the hottest names this offseason that we've seen in a long time?
Well, the first thing that jumps out at me when you talk about Caleb is obviously the arm talent. The arm talent is unique. It's different. It's impressive. Can make all the throws, velocity, touch, arm angle change, to change his arm slot, to make all the different throws and to avoid defenders and throw through windows. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say that jumps off the film is the guy's ability to improvise and move and the athleticism. He can hurt you scrambling to run. He can hurt you scrambling to throw. And you can just see the talent. I mean, anytime you're the number 1 rated player in the country as a high school player, and then you go and you become the number 1 player in college football, generally there's a pretty good track that you're going to ultimately be a great NFL quarterback. And I think we all see that. And then with Ben, Ben's the guy does a great job challenging the defense. I mean, his use of personnel, his use of shifts and motions is a lot like ours. He wants to move and use all the different, jet motions and stuff to make, create eye violations for the defense. And he does a terrific job with that. But I also love his ability to, be aggressive. But his play action passing game is awesome. He does a great job marrying the runs and the passes, and they have a lot of weapons. And again, I've been asked by kind of a lot of our beat writers this week about the 0-2 Bears. It's like, I don't. This is a good damn football team we're getting ready to play. So Ben's got done a nice job, and again, they'll be ready to go, and it's going to be a challenge for us up in Chicago.
Coach, can you follow up? A lot of analysts are trying to dissect Caleb, and they're like, Ben Johnson wants you on time within the structure of the offense, and then you talk about someone's skill with the improvisation. How do you balance that? Versus I want the ball out on 3, I want the ball out on 5. Versus kind of weighing the special talent of someone running around and making a play?
Yeah, I can see why people would want to have that conversation. First of all, here's what I'd say. The timing and the rhythm of a precision passing game, it takes time, guys. I mean, Caleb's still a young player. He's 3 games going into his 3rd game of his 2nd season, and he's going to get there. And when you're playing and you're developing, you kind of default, if you will, if it's not the perfect look or the clean look, to some of your strengths. And Caleb knows he's an incredible athlete, and he's got the arm talent to make all the throws. And I guarantee you Ben and his staff are working incredibly hard for him to get that timing down. I think he will get it down. I just hope it's not against us this weekend.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here, 105 through the fan. So, when you look at Ben, and they ran a lot of trick plays with Detroit, and I'm sure you plan for this every week, but do you have to plan extra special for a guy like Ben, that you got to be more ready for a trick play coming your way?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say. I think you're always ready. I mean, Ben's obviously got a little bit of a reputation as a gambler, as he should be. Was it Ben? Was it Dan? A lot of times when the head coaches got the personality of a Dan Campbell on offense, you're going to carry a handful of more 3rd down, 4th down plays, because he's going to give you the green light to go for it. I think that's what we're still learning. I think good thing for Ben is, no one needs to know that yet. That usually takes a little bit of time to figure that out, but we're always trusting our rules. We're always prepared for anything, but the creative nature of what Ben does is, I think, why he was a fast riser as a coordinator. And again, the guy's just built great offenses. I remember him going to Detroit as, I think it was a tight end coach or something, and Anthony Lynn was a good friend of mine, was the coordinator, and things didn't work out. And then next thing you know, Dan moves on from A-Lynn, and they're promoting this guy named Ben Johnson. And I talked to a couple guys on the staff. Mark Brunell's the guy that coached in Detroit and was a quarterback for us with the Jets, and he was raving about Ben. And then you look with the success that they had when they brought in Jared Goff, and the next thing you know, they're lighting up scoreboards.
Coach, I always wondered how teams plan for weather. It looks like it's going to rain. But, how far out do you check weather reports? And then as you get closer to the game, is there like a time where you're like, all right, we need to change up our game plan? It looks like it's going to be this bad. How does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. Again, is it 1-0?
Right,
I don't know what the score is right now. I mean, is it 1-0?
Yeah.
But no.
Hiss, Coach, hiss.
Yeah.
Remember who you're supposed to be saying it to.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah. So with the weather, here's what we do. You obviously track the weather throughout the week. Our equipment guys do a great job of staying in communication. It's Chicago, it's Philly, it's places like that. Guess what, guys? It's probably going to rain at some point. So we're not surprised by that. I don't go overboard, guys. I don't do a full period of, okay, we got to do a team period, wet ball, stuff like that. When we stretch, we throw ball to all the skill players and the offensive linemen, everybody, because it's all about the ball. We make them all handle the ball. But today we'll do it with wet balls, and again, to me, that's enough. I mean, the league does a great job. They keep the ball, clean and dry to the best of their ability. And the biggest thing would be the field conditions. If the field starts to get slippery and things like that, that's more of an issue than the rain itself. But I think we do work on it, but we don't go overboard.
Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Coach, you mentioned in your opening press conference, you were talking about the concepts and what you wanted the offense to look like. And you mentioned tempo, marrying the run and pass looks, cut splits. How close right now is this offense to looking like the one you were thinking about and describing that day?
It's a work in progress. I think that's fair. I think we've done some good things. I think, there's things that we need to clean up. I'm really pleased with what we've been doing in the red zone. Our ability to run the football down there has been great. Our ability to score and come away with touchdowns has been great. I think the situational football on third down has been really, really good for us. But it's always a work in progress. And again, you're constantly learning your players. You're constantly learning what your opponent does. We have a philosophy and we have a menu of plays, and whether it's, I'm throwing out arbitrary numbers, but all right, we got 80 first and second down passes to choose from, and 40 third down passes, and 35 first, second down runs. We like to run the same concepts and mix them up and do different things. And so I think, I would say we're trending in the right direction. I don't think we're there yet, but I also think this is something that it takes quite a bit of time. And I think, early season September football is always unique because everybody's still kind of feeling each other out.
Coach, Brock Hoffman's going to be at center for you guys, and I know he plays with a real edge, a real intensity. That's a temperament that you guys are fans of. But how do you make sure he plays smart and doesn't get any penalties after the whistle while still encouraging him, like, hey, keep that edge, though?
It's honestly, it's conversations. I've talked to Brock about that. Like, hey, I do, guys. I love his intensity, man. He gets underneath the defenders. He gets in their heads, man, and he gets them angry and worked up, and that's just a gift that he has. But again, we want to play to the edge, but don't go over the edge. And Brock is the perfect guy to do that. The one thing I'll say about Brock is he usually gets it stirred up, and then when they do something that is out of character, maybe for them as a defense, he never retaliates. So that has to continue. And but again, the guys trust him. Dak trusts him, and again, he's going to give us everything he's got. And great competitor, man.
Coach, we've talked about the defense a lot this week. The fans have reacted to us about the defense, the secondary primarily, questioning whether or not the talent fits the scheme that's being played. The miscommunication back there. What's your take? What have you seen over the first 2 weeks with that?
Well, I would agree with the fans in some regard that our communication has not been good enough. I think that's real. I think we own that. I think we're working incredibly hard to get that resolved. Playing great team defense requires great communication, and playing great team defense requires all 11 guys being on the same page and doing things the right way. And we certainly did not do a good enough job last week. We certainly let too many guys get behind us. And those are things that have been addressed. And those are things that you coach through. And those are things that you hold people accountable for, starting with the coaches and the players and myself and all that. And we have to be better. I think we were better. If you look at the Philadelphia game, we were better, and we communicated better. And that was in Philadelphia against a very, very talented group. And the reason Jalen Hurts hurt us with his legs was there was nowhere to throw the damn football. I mean, A.J. Brown had, one catch, and Devontae had 1 or 2 catches. So, again, we did not play well enough on defense last week. We understand that. We own that. This is a new week. This is a new challenge, and that's why we get paid is to point out the problems, make the corrections, but lean on the fact that the players are going to get it fixed, and whatever we emphasize, they usually do a great job of.
Coach, take us into the meeting that you guys have with the announce crews that happened. I mean, everybody's making a lot of the Tom Brady situation. Are we making too much of this, and whether or not it's a conflict of interest?
Again, I think everybody's got their own opinion. I talked to Tom yesterday and Kevin Burkhardt and Aaron Andrews and their producers and stuff. And, I'm very open with all those guys. I mean, there's no secrets in this business, guys. I mean, well, let's be honest. Pete Carroll and I know each other as well as anybody. Pete has 3 of my playbooks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know Pete. I know what Pete's saying to his team. And the questions that Tom and those guys ask, it's to do a job. And so I have no problem with it. I think each person has their own opinion. And if there's people that feel like it's an advantage, then, for Tom and the Raiders, then that's for them. But I know I'm always going to be very open with all the people that do it because I'm a football junkie, man, and I love talking football with anybody. Hell, I love talking football with you guys on Friday mornings at 8:20, and so I have no problem with Tom, and don't feel like it's a conflict of interest on my end.
Last one for you, Coach, a football junkie question. The Dallas Morning News compiled the top 100 Dallas Cowboys of all time. I know you've got an appreciation for the history here. Who's your number 1 Dallas Cowboy player of all time?
Wow, really going to do that to me this morning right before I jump off? So the phone lines can blow up, huh?
That was Bobby.
Well, again, I think, you have to go. You asked the question, so I can answer how I want. I'm going to go Roger Staubach 1. I'm going to go with an offensive guy. And then just because, again, just winning in Super Bowls and championships. But damn, Bob Lilly's got to be right up there with me as well, because I love defense. I love the line of scrimmage, but shit, I mean, there's so many great names. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, please that one out, guys. Sorry about that. That's y'all's fault. Hey, that's y'all's fault for asking that question. Yeah. There'll be more buzz. There'll be more buzz about the curse word than there will be about the answer of Roger and Bob.
A little early for a Schotty already. Dang.
Coach, thank you for the radio gold.
I'm out of lemons. Come over.
Thanks, Coach. Awesome stuff. Best of luck on Sunday.
All right, thanks, guys. Always enjoy it.
Wow. Bringing the gold. Brian Schottenheimer, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys.